Well, this is Nitin Dahad at HiPEAC 2025 and the end of day 2 here in Barcelona. And I'm here with Pablo Valerio, who's editor of EPSNews, but also he writes for us at EE Times. Hello, Pablo.
Hello, Nitin. How are you?
I'm good.
Welcome to Barcelona.
Yes, so what did you think so far of the last 2 days?
Well, this is very interesting. This is not the typical trade conference that we usually go to. This is more like academia, a lot of information, especially about new trends and new technologies that are probably coming to the market, not right now, but maybe in a couple of years' time.
Right.
So it's really interesting to be here listening to all these researchers, academics, and companies that are actually even looking for talent.
Well, I've been coming here since 2018, and one of the things I've just seen is just it's not necessarily a couple of years' time. Sometimes these technologies take a few years to surface. But I've had some really fascinating conversations here in the last 2 days. And usually every year they present a vision strategy document, so I'm looking forward to that tomorrow. But what are your sort of key takeaways so far?
Well, one of the things that I'm being interested in the past, let's say 2-3 years, is the evolution of quantum computing, and this is one of the themes that actually I wrote a few pieces for EE
Yes, you've
Times.
written quite a lot on for
exactly.
EE Times, including from the Barcelona Computing Center here.
Correct. Yes,
Yeah.
and so I think Europe is now taking a very much a large interest in quantum computing. While still you have the possibility to work with different researchers and now quantum computers are being installed in data centers and especially with supercomputers in Europe. So that is actually pushing a little bit more the research, and we are starting to see some real applications, mostly in research, not in real commercial applications for quantum, but this is a very interesting time for that. Of course, Europe cannot at this moment compete with China and the US in the research in that field, but there are several steps that are going in the right direction.
Okay. One of the things I think I took away from today's keynote was around what does it need to get superconducting and quantum computing, and I think 2 points he made. One was the right ways of cooling, and the second was just computational algorithms and software. Is that what you took away?
Well, actually, yes. It was really interesting talking. When they were talking, the keynote speaker this morning was talking about the possibility of actually interfacing with quantum computing at the level of cooling that, because we're talking about 4 grades Kelvin, which is actually almost like zero.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is where actually quantum chips are working today because of the stability necessary for the qubits, but the possibility and the performance increase that we can get if we can get the normal, let's say, binary computing to that level, that can help with new possibilities right now.
I think I was talking to lots of people here, but the key thing I was getting in the talks and various is just the way heterogeneity of architectures, which has been there for a long time, but that's going to be the way to address future computer systems architecture. But I've had some interesting conversations here. Like I was just talking to a researcher, and it's fascinating talking to the researchers because then you're thinking, what is this a potential idea for a business? Are they going to be able to spin it out? And I was just having a chat with somebody who's doing some work on just-in-time compilers, and I had a talk with somebody earlier on agentic AI and how it can be deployed on various devices. So, this is the kind of stuff which, as you said, we'll see in a few years' time, but maybe with the needs of AI, these will actually be deployed much faster.
Well, actually, one of the biggest problems in the industry today with AI, and this is happening everywhere, is that there has been an explosion in the past 3 years.
Yeah.
AI has been around for a long time, but the explosion of everybody's using it right now.
Yeah.
And all the big companies are pushing it. So what happens is that the massive amount of power required just to run those models, it makes necessary to actually find new technologies, not only at the, let's say, power level, but actually at the basic structure of semiconductors,
Right.
just to make it more possible to continue to run these models and actually not, let's say, kill the planet more, okay? It was interesting this morning during the keynote talking about the fact that they are restarting nuclear reactors.
Yes, yeah.
Just to power data centers. I mean, that's kind of crazy, but this is the world that we have today. So.
Yeah, and I just saw the low-risk people go by, and I realized they had a RISC-V hackathon here yesterday, but also I spoke to the low-risk people, and they were showing they're demonstrating their Sonata board and making RISC-V accessible. Because when you had the Morella board, it was like $10,000 or whatever, but with the Sonata, I think it's around $350. There's more ability to play with that technology, I guess. And low risk is a CIC, a community company anyway, so it's quite interesting how they're trying to get RISC-V out in the market there as well.
There is a big push for a RISC-V in Europe as well as in China, especially because of the geopolitical issues that we have right now.
Yeah.
We don't know what's going to happen with the new administration in the US, which is, I don't want to name that. But anyway, that's reality today is that we need to find new architectures, but at the same time, there is a mix of architecture right now that everybody's using. I mean, it's not like, for example, NVIDIA is just using ARM, or they are using RISC-V as well for many things, you know? And so, looking into the way that the European community is actually, that includes the UK as well, is using RISC-V, is that this is basically an opportunity for the future to have a more open, architecture, which is basically the demonstration that I've seen on RISC-V. There is a lot of potential, especially because of efficiency. And the fact that there is a really big community working on that.
The other thing is, the big thing, and I think we'll probably close now, is talent. And I think we've heard a lot. I was speaking to the ARM people yesterday, the ASML, around recruitment, around getting into universities, or working with the university, and ASML, talking about their community programs. So there's a lot around that, and you talk about heterogeneity. I mean, I was talking to the Open Hardware Eclipse Foundation people together with the ARM people. It really is a community that doesn't really know any boundaries in terms of architectures.
Well, one of the things that is, we require more people. This is really, the industry is in real need of talent, and they have to be recruiting everywhere. Actually, today at the show, we have a lot of people around, and one of the things that they did today was to open for students.
Yes,
just to learn
you can see that,
Exactly, to learn about all these companies here, and to basically look for possibilities. There is a need for talent. There is everywhere in all the regions, and I think it's very important for all these organizations just to recognize that they have to invest in that as well. Not only, we don't have to leave it to the politicians. The industry has to actually do it themselves.
And this kind of event does that, doesn't it?
Exactly.
Well, Pablo, it's been great talking to you.
Well, it was great to meet you finally. Even if we have been in contact for so long.
Yes.
And thank you very much.
Well, thank you.